noted excitement, an over concern, not an appropriate concern, way over concern, irritability, a lack of self-soothing to remember and say, wait, God's in control. God's got this. You forget that. You're gone. You're spinning. Self-control's gone. Your thoughts are all over the place. And it's just a vexation that's nefarious and you can't address or pinpoint. This is what I'm talking about. In other words, a good analogy, I think, is a stress ball. You're a stress ball when you're like this. When you could be a peaceful Super Bowl. You guys know what Super Balls are? I'm a kid of the 90s. I think that's kind of when they were around. I don't know if they do them anymore. I know snapback bracelets are coming back, and that's a throwback to the 90s too. Anyway, stress balls are the big poofy balls that that you squeeze, you give them energy, and they just take all your energy. No matter what you give them, they take it, and they leave you tired. They leave you annoyed. And that's what I think a stress ball person is. You know them, you're around them, they're worried about everything. No matter what you say, they take it and worry something else. You don't want to be around them. No one does. I don't want to be around me when I'm that way. I'm that way, we're all that way. I get it, it's rough. You don't want to be around that. It sucks and it steals the life from people. However, with peace, you know peace is, it's like something knocks you down, you get up and keep going. You're not worried. You don't lose your enthusiasm. It doesn't rub you really the wrong way. Oh, God's in this, God's in this, bing, bing, bing. You just keep going, nothing stops. They use the energy that comes. It doesn't stop them, they rebound it. They go somewhere else with it. It keeps going. The energy to move and work, and if anything, it's fun. It transfers the energy. It keeps it going. It's exciting. Hey, we're dealing with this today. All right, woo! It doesn't stop everything and just be a drain. In this week's preparation, I was like, I don't want to be a stress ball. I know a lot of people are stress balls, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge. The world is stressful. We got elections coming up. You know the world's going to be divided over Trump and whoever's going. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be worse probably than last time. As Christians, as followers of Christ, you think Christ was tense when you hung out with Jesus Christ? You think he made you feel awkward and tense around him? No, he was the ultimate heat sink. He was the ultimate calmer. Everyone around him, every problem was immediately understood. Oh, it's not a problem. They understood it immediately. This is our inheritance. We're peacemakers, we're peace givers. We're meant to be filled in with this peace for such a time as this. Yeah, there's big times that happened, scary revivals. Everyone was born in a certain way. Charles Spurgeon was born in 1830. He came up and was preaching big during Darwinism. You think that wouldn't freak you out if you were a preacher? For the first time, this whole holistic secular life came up. People are believing it. I mean, you feel like you're born for this time. So we're born for this time. We're born for this time. We may not know, but get ready. We're not here just to exist and die. God thought meticulously about you in equipping you for the people you know, for the stupid, seemingly non-important meetings with people at 7-Eleven. We really don't know what words can do to people. Well, actually, we do. I've been destroyed by words. One cutting word from someone brought me down. Then I've had someone speak life into me, and it changed my day, changed my week. You know, life and death is in the power of the tongue. There's no joke. And so in this week, I'm like, okay, Lord, you want me to talk about peace. You want me to talk about being a stress ball? Okay, but what do you want me to say about it? I don't feel like the most equipped to talk about peace because I'm a little stress ball sometimes. And so I was listening to Pastor Bryce's sermon, and then I was also, sometimes I like to listen to the old people, like Puritans from the 1600s, or Charles Spurgeon I like, he's the 1800s, because the way they talk about God, you know it's God. It's exactly the same God that you talk to now. It's exactly the same concepts, the same feelings you get when you read the Bible or read current people talking about it. If you read science from way back when, everything's different. The way they viewed things, what they understood was different. But God is God is God, no matter how hundreds of years you go back. It's crazy how relevant it is. Any one of their sermons could be put in right now and you'd be like, awesome, perfect, best one ever. Anyway, I was listening to this guy named Thomas Manton. He was a Puritan. He was around in the 1650s. And it was entitled, Leaning Not on Your Own Understanding. And I was like, yeah, that's one I deal with all the time because I always want to understand. Then I don't, and it makes you frustrated. And his whole thesis was basically that humans, you want to understand. Of course you want to understand. You want to understand math. You want to understand how to get a job, why she broke up with you. You want to understand life. But the problem is, unless we understand first, that we don't get that with God always. We don't always get that first. We don't get to understand first. Then it's going to cause us a lot of confusion and pain because we think we have it one way, and he told us already it's not going to be that way. Change your expectations. And if we can do, well, I'm going to do it my way. Well, what do you expect? What do you expect? We know this as a child, right? And I'm not going to go over his whole spiel. It was a great sermon. But it was one sentence that really convicted me and screwed me up. And he said, vexation, a lack of peace, joy, or tranquility in your house or in your heart about something. Vexation is our Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, no, we're still good here. Vexation is our sin before it is our malady or our inconvenience. Say that again. Vexation, not having peace, is our sin before it is our malady or inconvenience. That's an eloquent way to say you should actually be concerned that you're sinning to God with your attitude. When you're experiencing that, it's optional and it's choice related, and doing so is a sin. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it stresses you out. Yes, everyone hates you when you're like that. That's true. That sucks. That's inconvenient. But the first thing is you're sinning. Address that first. And I went, oh. Because I just went, what am I doing? Oh, God, just woes me. I don't know. No. Sometimes I say, what am I doing wrong? But that's not usually the first thing I do. It's usually, wow, I'm being punished. Woe is me. God, help me to have a good heart here. You know, it's never, what am I doing wrong? Search me. So this really smacked me upside the head. I mean, it was surprising because it's like we're sometimes confused, but God routinely says in his word, hey, I have an established order on things, how to act, how to walk, and I have told you this. I've communicated it to you in the word. People have been following it and talking about it and writing about it and preaching about it for 2,000 years. Why do you guys walk around so confused? You know, if we prioritize that as Christians, like knowing what he said, knowing his instructions, his heart towards us for these particular things, we wouldn't be, woe is me, ouch, it hurts. We would be excited to see what God has to say about this. Yeah. We'd be wanting to run to him and say, oh, we can be delivered from it? Cool, what's next? Yeah. What's next? How'd we go? We wouldn't be, oh, you'd be up. You'd be past it, right? And it stings me particularly because I was raised in the church, as Pastor Bryce said. I knew the Bible. I have read the Bible cover to cover a few times, and I read it every day. But of course, never as much as you could. You could know it. You could memorize. Some people memorize it, you know. But just a quick Google search of the Word of God, just looking up peace on Google, you don't even have to know. Just do a Google search. It'll get all the verses related, and you can study it in ways that you never could before. Maybe you're just dealing with lust. Oh, I don't know what God says about lust. Go on Google, look up lust. You'll have all kinds of things you can read about in the Bible without even knowing the Bible. It's amazing, guys. We're running out of excuses. And so it was sheepish because, oh gosh, I knew better. Maybe I should have known it was a sin. Oh, then you're beating yourself up. Don't do that. How about eye-opening? This verse, this statement, that it's a sin before it's an inconvenience, it shows us that God's intended will for us is actually to have peace and have joy. It is. Overall, I'm not saying there won't be times where you will cry, and if you do cry, God lied. No. Overall, we're meant to have peace and joy. He says that. It's all over the Bible. I'll just do a few verses. He's got them up there. Okay, good. Psalm 32:11. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice, you righteous, and shout for joy, all you upright in heart. Okay, so we know we can't be anxious while we're rejoicing. You know that. You're faking something. And you can't rejoice while you're anxious. It's impossible. You're vexed. Everything's wrong. Everything's coming in. It's the furthest. They're opposites, right? So God commands us. If he commands us, it means we can do it. He wouldn't command us to do something we can't do. And note it says, you righteous. We know in the Bible, righteousness is never anything we can earn as Christians. So it's not like you're righteous and you'll get this. Righteous means if you have faith in the Lord's righteous, he will impute the righteousness to you, and these are the fruits of that faith. Does that make sense? So righteous is not you, righteous is God, but you have faith to him and he'll give you the righteousness and give you the peace. Proverbs 28:1 says, the wicked flee when no one pursues. I've been there. I've been so anxious. I'm just out of control. You didn't even do anything wrong, you know? But the righteous are as bold as a lion. I want to be bold as a lion, for sure. And not a cocky going around biting things, killing things. No, it's I'm okay. Whatever comes, I can handle. My God behind me is going to empower me, and I'll be all right. Whatever comes is going to be okay. And it will come, but I'm ready for it. It's okay. You know, Nehemiah 8:10 says simply, the joy of the Lord is our strength. Trust me, I know that verse. I've gotten excited about it in church. Is it really your strength? Is the joy of the Lord your strength? Is it your strength, Jared? Jeff? Me, Ryan, is it? At times I could say I know what that means. And there's been probably the majority of my time I would say, no, I don't know with full confidence what that means. And that's a shame on me because it's a promise we can have. And to look at that and be indifferent towards it, I want the joy of the Lord to be my strength. Joshua 1:9, pretty clear. Have I not commanded you?